A pair of overalls sat on my hair rack for over a year before I decided to include them in a Style It or Say Goodbye episode. I thought they might need to be decluttered, but I needed the process of intentionally styling them to take the emotion out of decluttering them and show me exactly why they didn't work in my wardrobe. What happens when you separate out the pieces that you never wear or don't know how to style from the rest of your wardrobe and take time to intentionally style them and try and create outfits with them? You learn very quickly what is a yes and what is a no. You learn about how you actually feel about those items, if you actually like the outfits you're creating, and how they actually work in your wardrobe. So first, let's talk about the new way I'm decluttering my wardrobe and how it relates to the Style It or Say Goodbye series. When it comes to decluttering, I would go through my wardrobe every year, every 6 months, and just make decisions based on what I had and hadn't worn, or what I felt like I could and couldn't style, just based on how it looked in that moment. But in March of 2025, I decided to try something new. I separated my wardrobe into favorites, how and not now. My favorites are the pieces that I absolutely love and I couldn't see myself without. The not nows are pieces that I stored away, I need a break from, maybe they're not seasonally appropriate. And the how section is the pieces that I don't know how to style or that I never wear. And what's great about this method is the how section is out of my closet on a rack just in front of my bed. So it's the first thing that I see when I get dressed every day. And so I'm faced with those pieces daily. And so they are the first things that I sort of reach for when I'm trying to make an outfit. And it's really helped me determine whether or not the pieces that are on that rack were either something that I maybe passed over when it was within the rest of my wardrobe, or if it's a piece that I actually don't like and doesn't work within any outfits that I create and it doesn't belong in my wardrobe. So with that idea in mind, when I switched over my wardrobe for fall and winter in September, I decided to start a series called Style It or Say Goodbye, where I took 2 pieces from that how section and I styled them 3 ways each and then decided whether or not I wanted to keep them in my wardrobe or let them go. I was committed to working through the rack and the shelf and the shoes piece by piece throughout the season, using my Style It or Say Goodbye series, as well as decluttering just on my own and wearing pieces day to day and realizing what is working and what isn't. And through the process of Style It or Say Goodbye, I've styled 38 pieces starting from September until now, and I've decluttered 19. And not a single decluttered piece has been added back into my wardrobe. Now let's talk about the lessons that I learned after doing this series for an entire season of fall and winter. And the first one is this process forces honesty. So in the normal way of decluttering, I would make a lot of snap decisions or do a lot of decision making based on purely emotion, which is not good for me. It comes with a lot of guilt and uncertainty, so it feels like a really hard process. But with Style It or Say Goodbye, doing the outfits builds a case for whether or not I want to keep something in my wardrobe or let it go. For example, I had a pair of overalls that I just recently styled in a Style It or Say Goodbye series episode, where I had these overalls sitting on the rack unworn since at least March 2025. And I just recently styled them in February of 2026. Deep down, I knew I should let them go, but I needed the evidence of a side-by-side comparison with the other overalls in my wardrobe to really give me clear insights that this piece was duplicative and no longer needed to be in my wardrobe. On the flip side, I had a pair of Big Bud Press carpenter jeans that I thought were so beautiful and was totally in love with, but after trying to create outfits with them, multiple outfits, probably 4 or 5 outfits with these jeans, I only came up with one that I absolutely loved, and it became really clear that these were not a good fit within my wardrobe. And so even though I was trying to actively create outfits that I loved with these jeans, I still wasn't able to do it, and it became clear that they needed to go. The next lesson that I learned is that my confidence has grown in knowing what a yes and a no is over this season of Style It or Say Goodbye. In the beginning of this series, there was a volume sleeve sweater that was one of the first pieces that I styled for the series, and I pulled it because I really loved the sweater and I thought it was really gorgeous, and I wanted to create more outfits for it. That was sort of the intention of this video in the beginning, and so I ended up keeping the piece after that video. Then a couple of months later, I wore an outfit that I created in that video out in real life, and I just realized that it wasn't my style. I was looking at a picture of the outfit and I wasn't feeling joy. I was feeling like there was something off about it. And I just realized that I'm becoming way more clear on what is a yes and what is a no, and how I want to look and feel within the outfits that I love. A similar situation happened with this sweater, the marled place striped guy, and in that video, I think I was on the fence about it, but I really love the sweater, and it was one of those things that maybe was almost 100% perfect, but not quite there. And I styled this so many ways. I was like desperate to come up with outfits that I really loved in it, but everything that I styled it with just wasn't working. And a couple of months later, lo and behold, I decided to let it go. So I think as I'm creating outfits and intentionally styling pieces and seeing what's working and what's not, my decision making is getting sharper. I'm more clear than ever on what is a yes and what is a no, and I'm more confident than ever about what pieces should stay and which ones I should let go. The next thing that's been really interesting within the style it or say goodbye process is how my feelings have changed looking at the how section of my wardrobe. When I first put everything in my how section of my wardrobe before doing the style it or say goodbye series, it was like packed to the brim. It's filled with pieces that I look at and I feel guilty because, you know, I had all these expectations that they were going to fit in so well and I'm not wearing them, and I don't know whether it's because they're not right for me or I just have passed over them. So I started feeling a lot of guilt. And then through this process, seeing the pieces get curated down and sort of trimming the clutter and the pieces that weren't working, and really seeing like my clear curated style come through in just this how rack has been really exciting to see. And now it feels almost like a relief. I feel lighter. I feel like I'm really getting down to the pieces that express my personal style and feel like they work really, really well. It doesn't feel like there's any pieces that are really like outliers within my house section now, which is really exciting. And seeing the curation just in the house section gives me hope that one day my closet as a whole can really feel like that super curated and intentional wardrobe. So now when I let something go, I don't feel like guilt about what could have been. I feel relief that I'm taking another step towards that curated wardrobe that I'm looking for. Another lesson that I learned is that some pieces are really just being passed over within your wardrobe. So when I started this whole process of the how, not now, and favorites section back in March of 2025, I had over 50 pairs of shoes. So a lot of stuff was sort of getting lost within that huge amount of shoes. And so I hadn't really worn these really gorgeous green lace-up boots from Intentionally Blank. And so when I sort of chose my how section for fall winter, those shoes got placed in there because I really love them, but I just had not worn them a lot. I had maybe worn them 5 times in the maybe year and a half that I had them. And past me would have probably decluttered them. If I was just doing a regular declutter, I would have been like, I haven't worn these. They seem like they're hard to style because they're this bright green color. They should probably leave. But instead, I did a style it or say goodbye episode with them. I intentionally styled them 3 different ways, and I loved every single outfit that I put together with them, which made it super clear that they fit perfectly in my wardrobe. They're bringing something unique to my outfits, and to declutter them would have been a mistake. So thanks to this process, instead of decluttering this piece that I hadn't really worn that much and was maybe difficult to style in my head, I was able to take the time and fall back in love with them and create 3 outfits that I can't wait to wear with this pair of shoes. And it's helped me to see how impactful they are within my wardrobe. The next lesson that I learned is that what I'm keeping and what I'm getting rid of through the Style or Say Goodbye series is a mirror of my personal style. It's helping me navigate my preferences. It's giving me clarity on what is a yes and what is a no. And those insights are helping me to put a sort of filter on what I'm shopping for in the future. You know, if I'm getting rid of a pair of pants that's really tight and doesn't have any stretch, guess what? I'm not going to buy any non-stretch pants going forward. Or if I find that a black grounded floral dress is difficult for me to style with other colors in my wardrobe, I'm not going to buy any more black grounded floral printed items because I already struggle with that in my current wardrobe. So it's giving me really specific things that I can keep in mind for my future shopping, as opposed to how I was decluttering in the past, where I just get rid of something because I'm not wearing it and I don't think about why it's not getting worn and why I'm getting rid of it. And I think those insights are so important because it allows you to sort of avoid making the same mistakes over and over again. The next lesson is talking through decisions is actually helping impact the decisions themselves. And this is kind of twofold. One is the fact that I'm able to kind of ask for help from you guys. So when I was styling this cream cardigan, I really loved it, but I was really struggling to style it. So I asked you guys for help styling that piece, and you came back with so many great outfits. And I actually ended up finding an outfit through the Index app that helped me decide to keep the sweater because I loved the outfit so much and I felt like the sweater was an important part of that outfit. So it really helped me to discover some outfits that I wouldn't have otherwise thought of by getting inspiration from you guys. And then in addition, being able to record these outfits and then look back at them and speak to them at the end of each Style It or Say Goodbye video, it really gives me like a second perspective because I realize that I definitely look at the outfit differently from when I'm trying it on in person to when I'm looking back at the clips after the fact when I'm doing my little roundup at the end. I don't know why that is. I think I can just look at it more objectively when it's not like on my body and I'm not like looking at it in a mirror. Something about seeing it on the camera just makes it more objective. And then in addition, I'm also able to see it like side by side against outfits that I absolutely love or pieces that I love. The recent overalls Style It or Say Goodbye episode that I did, I compared the pair of overalls that I was styling and not sure about whether to keep or let go. I styled the same outfit with two other pairs of overalls, and I was able to put them side by side and compare how I was feeling about each outfit, which eventually led me to declutter the pair that I was styling in that episode, because I was able to see that I actually liked that pair the least out of the two other overalls that I was styling the same outfit with. And that method really makes it clear because I'm able to see the pieces side by side and decide which one I like the most or the least. And in that case, the overalls that I was styling were the ones that I liked the least, and it was one of the reasons that I let them go. And in addition, having to articulate why you're decluttering something has helped me to find patterns and discover lessons about what I'm decluttering or what I'm keeping. I think speaking to it just makes it easier for me personally to see the patterns, and then I can keep those in my mind and use those for future purchases. So that's not something that was ever the intention with this video series, but it's been so extremely helpful in not only creating outfits because I'm seeing patterns within like color stories that I like and silhouettes and proportions, but also in my low buy efforts for this year, I'm able to take the ideas of what I don't like and things that are on my wish list, and it feels like so focused because of all the lessons I've learned through this series. This whole season of Style It or Say Goodbye has been about learning more about my personal style and making the most out of my wardrobe, and I definitely think that this process, as well as like my closet organization method, have played a big role in discoveries in regards to those two things. I definitely think I wouldn't feel as confident about my preferences and my personal style if I wasn't doing the Style It or Say Goodbye series. So I'm really happy that you guys are also loving this series and that it's made such an impact on my wardrobe. I would encourage you guys to try this on your own if you haven't already. Putting aside a group of clothes that maybe you don't know how to style or that you never wear, and trying to take like 30 minutes and style outfits and trying things and just experimenting can really make a big difference. It'll either tell you that that piece isn't for you and maybe you should let it go, or it'll show you how to style it and you can get wear out of that piece that you never wear and haven't known how to style. So it's a benefit either way, whether you decide to keep it or let it go. And make sure to look out next week for my switchover video. I'm going to be going through my house section and my stored items and rearranging everything and getting set up for spring and summer. So look out for that. And then obviously I'll be continuing the Style It or Say Goodbye series with those pieces. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up so I know to make more videos like this. Like I said, I love making videos all about personal style and making the most out of your wardrobe. So if you don't want to miss anything from me, make sure to subscribe. It really helps my channel. If you enjoyed this, you might enjoy my video where I talk about my February style challenge, everything I learned by getting dressed using a daily prompt for 28 days. So I will leave that linked here and see you in the next one. Bye.